Hi there, my name's Kath Walsh, and I just thought I'd pop on here to explain my story about being stuck in work. I believe that we spend a lot of our life in work, and when we're miserable in work, it affects the whole of our lives. I know because I've been in that place. And then we feel stuck. How do I get out of this job, this career? How do I pivot my career to go into a new career? And do I even know what I can or what I want to do? I'm not even sure. I started life as a teacher. I didn't want to be a teacher, but the careers advisor somehow sent me to teach training college and I became a teacher. And it was fine for a couple of years. But after a couple of years, I thought, is this it? Is this it for the next 40 years of my life? And I became increasingly disheartened with the career that I had ended up in, really, more than I'd chosen. And I'm not saying that teaching is a bad career, it just wasn't for me. But where could I go? I had a Bachelor of Education degree. I tried other jobs, I was getting nowhere. I was getting more and more desperate. Didn't know who to turn to. Nobody could help me. They all just thought I had a nice job. I did. I had a nice job in a nice school. I finished work at 3:30. It was a long time ago. Teachers, I'm sorry if you're working longer hours, but I wasn't at the time. I trained as a trampolining coach. I was doing canoeing. I was running aerobics classes. I was doing all sorts of side hustles. And in the end, I thought, right, nobody's going to employ me because I'm only trained to be a teacher. So I bought a deli and a bakery. I borrowed my uncle's retirement fund and I did pay him back. And I bought this little tiny business of which I knew nothing about. And I went from working 9 till 3:30 to working 5 a.m. till 8 or 9 p.m. 6 days a week. And guess what? I absolutely loved it. So what was all that about? Having an easy job is not necessarily something that excites you or thrills you. Over the years, I've started to understand what it is that makes us happy in our work. And we're all different. What we need to keep us going and to challenge us and to excite us. I have mastered an understanding of myself and I've changed careers a few times since then. As my life has changed, I've pivoted my career. This is my third business, but I've been employed in several other businesses. I ended up in directorate level in the higher education sector, working at the universities. So I've had lots of different changes in the public and private sector and self-employed. And I know how now to pivot my career to get myself where I want to be. The reason for me launching Careers Launcher is to help people who are in the situation that I was in at 25 find a faster and quicker way to getting where they want to be, because I stumbled my way through my career. Here's an example of somebody I have helped in the past, a girl called Jess who had just finished her graphic design degree. She was working for a small startup company and she wasn't happy at all. It wasn't working out for her at all. And she didn't know why. And then she thought, maybe I've done the wrong degree. But she enjoyed her graphic design degree. What she was unhappy about was the structure of the organisation. It was a little startup. It was chaotic. It was fast moving. And her profile told me that actually she liked order and more structure. Being a graphic design for a small startup was never going to fit what she wanted. But being a graphic designer for a large organised company that's got all its structures in place would work for her. And subsequently, we targeted those sorts of companies. We were very selective, and she's gone on to have a very successful career in graphic design. So it wasn't the graphic design that was the issue, it was the type and size of the company that was the issue for her. Whereas it might be a complete career pivot for you. You absolutely don't want to be in banking or in finance or whatever it is, and you want to be in something radically different. That's all doable. What I want you to understand is we all have more choices than we actually believe that we have at the time. When we're stuck, we narrow our focus of vision and we can't see opportunities. All we can tend to see is the negative, and we go down this little rabbit hole. So my job here is to help you lift your head and look around and be open to new opportunities. And then when you decide what it is that you want to do, when we've got to that point, then there's a whole series of tactical things you can do to put yourself in the strongest position to get that job and start living your happy life. But more importantly, learn the tools that will enable you to think, hang on, this isn't quite right for me now. Jobs change, people change, life changes. I want to give you the tools so that you can be confident to know that you can move on, change and flex your career as you progress through it. I hope that makes sense to you, and it'd be lovely to have you on board.